All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Hope you're all doing well. Wednesday, October the 13th, 2021. Appreciate you all tuning in. We have got a packed show here on a Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Chris Phillips, host of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. As always, let's see. Todd Smith, the DGD podcast, Tanner Land, Travis Hill, Sean O'Brien, Brendan M., John Kruger. Also, guys, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel, be sure your questions are answered here on a Wednesday, October the 13th, 2021. As you see behind me as well, we have updated the setup just a little bit. I thought, you know what? I love DJ Swag. I love Swearinger, but my dude Connor Shaw about to get inducted into the USC Hall of Fame with a host of others, but I thought it was only appropriate, which looks like I might need to slide this helmet a little bit. Let's slide the helmet over just a touch so you all can see that. There we go. A little bit better. Okay. We're going to play with the setup, by the way. This thing might look a little bit different tomorrow, Friday, whatever. But again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Got a packed show here taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. I want to hear from you all, guys. Again, before we get going with everything, I do want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they've represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand that you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. They're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. Been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it may be. The last thing that you should be dealing with is paperwork, dealing with the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you, guys. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, their friends are at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Again, 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. You see behind me, we want Delp, tight end to win. I've even got the Big Nick Energy shirt on. So we'll see tonight, 650 he'll choose. And I'll say this, guys, and we'll start there because, of course, tonight, Oscar Delp making the decision. And I tweeted this out this morning, and I shouldn't have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. Again, this might sound very obvious to some of you, but I fear that if Oscar Delp makes a decision, actually probably no matter the decision he makes on either side, you will see the worst side of social media in many respects. So my one piece of advice is this, guys. Yes, I want Oscar Delp to go to the University of South Carolina. There is no question. But if, whether it be he, whether it be someone else, if a certain prospect you want does not pick your school, do yourself a favor and just stay off of Twitter. If you've got nothing nice to say, then say nothing at all, because it makes you look like an idiot when you're berating a 17-year-old for picking where he wants to go to college. Yeah, Daddy Yo, Jaden Gibson also announcing, 2 o'clock, I think that is, 2:20, something like that. So Jaden Gibson will be announcing as well. But, yeah, the big one, obviously, tonight, Oscar Delp. And, again, the great thing is this. We'll be live at Tin Roof. We'll be live at Tin Roof 5 to 7. So that'll be going on while we're live at Tin Roof. So that'll be really fun. Again, we are live out at Tin Roof tonight. 5 to 7, we'll be there in the Vista, downtown Columbia. Guys, would love to have you out there. And also, again, if you cannot be there in person, you can't be there in person, guys, tune in digitally right here. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You guys know the drill already. Going to be a really good time. Last week was a blast. you never know what you might get at the old Tin Roof. So, again, guys, be sure you come out. Going to be a really fun time. Going to be a good time. And, again, would love to see you guys out there. Sean O'Brien, I have no idea when Antonio Williams announces. No clue. No clue. Tanner Land, Coach Ford, what's the game plan? No, yeah. I'm excited for today, man. Again, we're talking Vanderbilt. I dropped my best bet, SEC gambling picks, and midseason report card. Midseason report card. So would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. My good friend Gamecock Doug, I think, just tweeted some information. Here we go. Yeah, Friday. Okay. The Madness on Main. The event opens at 5:30. The show will start at 6:30. So yours truly will plan on being out there. So if you guys are going to go out there, would love to see you. Looks like, let's see, team introductions and remarks from coaches, competitions with men's and women's basketball, chance to win prizes, appearance from the Carolina girls, cheerleaders, and cocky. So going to be a fun night in the city. Going to be a fun night in the city. So if you're out and about in Columbia, or if you're coming in town for the Vanderbilt game, why not come on out to Madness on Main? I'll be out there. So really excited for that. Going to be a good time. Let's see. Brian Dean says midseason report card B-. Sean O'Brien says report card was spot on. I appreciate that. Yeah, I gave the overall grade a C. I think a C is fair. You've won the games you were supposed to win. You've lost the games you were supposed to lose, and that's coming from Vegas, who, again, knows what the hell they're doing. They know what the hell they're talking about. So, you've lost 3 games to 3 teams whose combined record is 16-2. And I'm not telling you not to be disappointed that you lost to a Kentucky and a Tennessee, but, I mean, when you take into account that, 3-3 is about right for this football team. So there's been some good, there's been some bad, there's been some in the middle, and for that reason, that's why I gave it a C. So, again, would love to hear from you all, 843-790-3377. Cody Sharp says, is he just going to announce it on Twitter or have some kind of event? I would assume he's probably going to go live on, like, Instagram or something. He didn't really clarify, but I'd have to imagine he'll go live somewhere. I have to imagine. Let's see. Travis Lee says, we're not getting either, unfortunately. We need playmakers. So here's the funny thing, by the way. And again, I respect the heck out of the recruiting services and what they do and the crystal balls and all that good stuff. But when people say that, it's like, do you know the kid personally? Like, how do you know where he's going? How do you know? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, but, like, how do you know? What do you know that I don't know? I mean, you never know in recruiting. That's what I say. You never know. So nobody knows where he's going. You don't know where these kids are going. Don't ruin the fun for the rest of us. I mean, so, yeah, how about the Bravos, Travie? Bravos headed to the NLCS. Justin Kyle, is Delp a lock for Georgia? I've heard nothing. Maybe he is going to Georgia, but I've heard nothing of the sort. I had my buddy just now text me. You also hearing no chance for Oscar? Where is this coming from? Like, I don't know. Justin Kyle says, where's Ford at? I can't wait to see his crying as usual. You made your report card. He made sure to make his analysis. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Ford jumps in here. I like hearing from Travis Ford. The beauty's in the banter, guys. I like the banter. I appreciate the banter. Beauty's in the banter. So why not? We want Delp. We'll see what happens. Brian Dean, Red Sox. Got a Red Sox fan up in here. Let's see. Yeah, but I would say this again, guys. Either way, wherever Oscar Delp, wherever Jaden Gibson, any prospect, wherever they decide to go, if they don't pick your school, wish them well, wish them best of luck, and move on. That's it. So, wish them best of luck and move on. Lance Player, what's up, my guy? What's up? What's going on? Brian Dean, if Delp wants to ride the pine, it's Georgia. If he wants to play, it's USC. John Kruger, game 1 will either be in Atlanta on Saturday if the Dodgers win, or game 1 will be in San Francisco on Saturday if the Giants win. But it will be Saturday, you're saying. Okay. Yeah, the Braves definitely, I think. Well, I mean, the Braves did beat the Giants in the regular season. So the Braves did beat the Giants. By the way, guys, I don't know. Actually, we'll wait to get to my best bet. I want to start with this. Again, you guys, it's that time of the week. I love collegefootballnews.com. You know I love when they make their predictions and projections, and they have dropped their prediction and their game preview for the South Carolina Vanderbilt game this weekend. So, again, this is collegefootballnews.com. Pete Fiuchak, his thoughts on the game, okay? So, as you all know, in case you don't, they list why Vandy will win, why Carolina will win, and then what will actually happen. So, I'm going to read through this. I think this dropped late last night. Either way, South Carolina Vandy, collegefootballnews.com, Pete Fiuchak. Here we go. This is what they say. Why Vanderbilt will win. It's not consistent and it's not explosive, but Vanderbilt's offense is improving. It couldn't do anything against Georgia and Florida, but they aren't part of this program's measuring stick at the moment. They were able to run on Stanford, and the passing game got in its reps in the win over UConn. That matters to have some success even against the downtrodden. The ground game might not be doing much, but the offensive line hasn't been too bad. The defense has been okay on third downs, at least when it's not dealing with the elite, and South Carolina isn't going to walk the tunnel and start rolling. The Gamecock D is horrendous on third downs. The passing game ain't anything great, and turnovers are a problem. But, why South Carolina will win. They say this, the Vanderbilt defense doesn't do anything to get behind the line. It all ties together. The Commodores don't generate any pressure, and that means they don't come up with enough takeaways to help out an offense that desperately needs a few breaks. In this, though, it's about the other side of the ball. South Carolina hasn't seen the Kevin Harris of last year. Being banged up had something to do with it, but he's leading a nice rotation for a ground game that should be a whole lot better than it's been. This is the game it starts to work. Overall, it's about turnovers with this offense. It has a problem with them, but the defense has been able to pick up the slack with a ton of big plays, an SEC high 14 takeaways on the year. And so, what's going to happen? Again, this is collegefootballnews.com, Pete Fiuchak. What's going to happen? Vanderbilt can't win this without owning the turnover margin, and it's not going to own the turnover margin. The South Carolina running game will hit 200 yards for the first time against an FBS team, and the team will win its 13th straight in the series. Final score prediction from collegefootballnews.com, South Carolina 26, Vanderbilt 13. So collegefootballnews.com is locked in at 26-13 prediction for the game. Now, with that being said, I do not think that score is going to satisfy the appetite of a fan base who I think is very desperate for a big blowout win. Granted, that score could very well happen. I'm not saying that score is, I think that's a fair score prediction for the way South Carolina's looked. But I think that's fair. So 26-13 is what collegefootballnews.com has locked in for this weekend. So Lance Player says, I want to say this about the team. I really do like how we keep tinkering with things to see if it works. Really loved we went to some I formation. I truly feel we will see some progress over the next 3 games. Yeah, you have to take that, again, as a takeaway from the end of the Tennessee game that maybe the running game is starting to find itself a little bit, just a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. I'll tell you this, guys, in case you missed it. I'm actually about to post the graphic on social media, but in case you missed this, today's show, again, talking gambling, SEC gambling picks, best bet for South Carolina and Vandy. My best bet, and it's, again, guys, I like to stay away from the spread because I don't like spoiling my prediction for the game necessarily before Friday because that's when I make my predictions. But my best bet in this one is South Carolina -18. Vandy sucks. Vandy sucks, guys. I understand this week it's very popular to be doom and gloom and, oh, my God, Carolina, we just can't do anything. We're this, we're that. We have no hope. We're abysmal. Vanderbilt is trash. Pure trash, okay? And I'm not trying to, jinx anything, but, Vanderbilt's not a very good football team. South Carolina has problems. It has issues. It has deficiencies. It's got a ragtag roster. It's got a first-year coaching staff, but it's not Vanderbilt. So at home, homecoming, afternoon kickoff, a team that is desperate for, a W you absolutely have to have, obviously. A team that is desperate for a W. Even the 2020 Gamecocks beat Vanderbilt 41-7. Even they did. So if they can do it, I'm not saying it's going to be 41-7. I'm not saying Carolina covers it by much more than 8 or, covers it by a lot. But there ain't no way I'm picking Vandy plus 18 in this game. Ain't no way. And the over-under 51, I think, is kind of a tricky number. I think at home, I could see a 21-point win for South Carolina. Something like 27-6, 31-10. I think the defense will bounce back and dominate Vandy. Vandy's trash, guys. They have been out, and I know it's Georgia and Florida, but Vanderbilt has been outscored 104-0, guys. 104-0. So, again, I know that's Florida and Georgia. I get it. But Vandy's not very good at all. I'm not saying South Carolina's great by any stretch. But, damn it, it's better than Vanderbilt. Even when South Carolina has had their terrible years, they've beaten Vandy. So, I got no concerns in this one, guys. And let's see. Luke RJ says, are you sure about that? Because I thought the negative and realistic Chris was back. By the way, Luke, it's not negative. If I'm being realistic, that's not being negative. I pick us to lose to Kentucky. That's not being negative. I at no point this season have I gone out of my way to be negative. And I am being realistic. I'm realistic about Vanderbilt. They're terrible. They're terrible. I'm not saying it's not going to be close at points. I'm not saying, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a one-score game at half, but Vanderbilt stinks, guys. Vanderbilt stinks. Vandy stinks. Again, the pessimism and negativity and worrying about this game this week is all coming from South Carolina fans and, oh, woe is me, we're terrible because we're not 5-1 like I predicted. We're not doing this, we're not doing that. I understand what happened against Tennessee, guys, but Vandy ain't Tennessee, nor are they close. They're not Kentucky. They're not Georgia, obviously. I think East Carolina and Troy would beat Vanderbilt. Truly. I at least think Troy would. So, no, I think the Gamecocks at home on homecoming, I think it's – unless South Carolina's turning the football over and, that's the only way I think it's a really, really close game. I think Gamecocks might. I mean, there's a reason, guys. The line opened at 17. It jumped to 20 because the money was pouring in on South Carolina. Now it's settled back in at 18. So I love Gamecocks minus 18. Again, I'm not saying they're going to cover by. They're not going to cover. I'm not saying they're going to cover by a lot, but I could easily see a 3-touchdown victory for South Carolina. Vandy sucks, guys. They suck. They're terrible. South Carolina's always been able to take care of Vanderbilt. So that's just my take. Again, I'm not trying to spoil my prediction for Friday, even though I guess I am. But, listen, I'm very realistic about what the rest of the season looks like. I think you're staring at 4-8, maybe 5-7. 6-6 might be pushing it a little bit. But, and I know you got holes, deficiencies. But, again, I think the reaction this week from Carolina fans, I understand how the game got started. You got down 28-0. It was a nightmarish start. But I keep going back to the quote that Lou Holtz had, which says that things are never as good as they seem and things are never as bad as they seem. And I just think you're seeing Gamecock fans, it's been funny this season to watch the pendulum swing back and forth. Like, it's an extreme either way. Fans, I feel like, struggle just saying, like, hey, we're kind of a mediocre football team. We're not terrible. We're not Vandy bad, but we're also obviously not above average. We're not even really average. We're just a mediocre football team. But even being a mediocre football team, you can win 5 games. You know what I mean? So, but it doesn't have to be an extreme. It's, oh my God, we're not going to win a single game the rest of the year. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. Like, stop. Come on. Stop. So, again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. John Gibbs says, personally, I hate running out of the I or power formation unless we're on the goal line for the simple fact defenses can stack the box and stuff you. Of course, you've got Alabama's line, then you can do anything. That being said, I want to see our OC do whatever works, even if it means going back to old school football. I say this, though, John, we've ran it well out of the I when we've done it. Doesn't matter where we are on the field. And I think for a guy like Kevin Harris, I think that's his best set, man. I think that's his best set. I think that's what he needs to be in. No question. I think that's what he needs to run out of. Carter Bingham says, I could see another ECU game. Again, I don't. I think East Carolina's actually a lot better than Vanderbilt. Could it be? Certainly. I could be totally wrong. I think the Gamecocks at home, homecoming, they need a big – this is a team that's desperate. a team that's absolutely desperate. It needs a big game. Again, I'm not saying you're going to go win 50-0, but I think this team puts its best foot forward. And so. No, yeah, I did have the tweet after I apologized for picking us to beat Tennessee. Yeah, I don't know. We're all in our feelings on game days. So.
Call from
Robbie Davis.
Robbie, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. I just finished my first walk of the day to listen to your show, so I just heard you say something about the I formation and everything.
Yeah, somebody.
One thing that I did.
Go ahead.
One thing that I did notice, even though our defense as a whole sucked last year, is the one thing I did notice on offense last year, even though we sucked. If we are in the I formation, if I remember correctly, that was whenever Harris had a majority of his big runs.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he had his big run against Vanderbilt last year, we were in the I formation. And I think he's the I think he's more comfortable in an I formation setting. So I think we should. If it was me, I would totally do that 100%. I don't know about you, but that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but that's what I would do.
Yeah, I would run. I would run Kevin Harris almost exclusively out of the I formation. He just, again, the proof's in the pudding, right? I mean, it just, and again, I guess we'd have to look at the statistics, like, hey, how does Kevin Harris run in one set versus the other? But it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like that style fits him much better than anything else. So,
right. And I think if our defense plays the way they should be able to play Saturday, and we have a couple of Beamer ball moments, I think this is the game whenever we crack a little over 30.
I could see it. Yeah, I could see it. Again, man, it's a little bit of doom and gloom this week, and fans have the hangover from the Tennessee. I totally get it, but yeah, when you realistically take a step back, and as long as this football team approaches this game the right way, there's no reason why they shouldn't win and win somewhat comfortably. I mean, Vanderbilt has, again, the Gamecocks are not a great football team. There's no question. I'm not trying to say they are, but they're not Vandy bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
If Carolina goes out there and is sloppy and they're turning the football over and they're doing dumb things, shoot themselves in the foot, then yeah, I think you could be in for a battle, and it's a fourth quarter game, and it's much closer than fans want. But
I don't care if we are playing Vandy. If we shoot ourselves in the foot too much against Vandy can beat us.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And I think that's been our main issue is us shooting ourselves in the foot with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalties and the false starts and the offsides and the targeting penalty that honestly to me didn't even look like targeting in my opinion. But he did launch. He might not have led with his helmet, but he did jump into the air. He might have had no other choice but to jump into the air.
Right.
But in my opinion, that did not look like targeting. But it is what it is. We just got to just keep moving forward. Whenever you get knocked down, you got to brush yourself off and just keep moving.
I agree. I love that. So, no, I mean, listen, I would say this too, man. Is like there's a reason South Carolina is an 18-point favorite in this game, and we'll just leave it at that. So.
Exactly. I just think also our secondary wants to prove that last week was a fluke. Because I do think our secondary is better than what it did last week. I think that 100%. I feel like they want to prove to everybody that Tennessee we had a bad day. We want to show that we're better than what you saw against Tennessee.
Yeah, I think
feel like the secondary.
I think this defense will play like its hair is on fire. Yeah, I think this defense will play like its hair is on fire for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that 100%. And I honestly saw where the game was at 7:30, but then they moved it to 4. I was like, well, this don't make sense. They said 7:30. Now they're saying 4. This don't what?
I've seen 4 from the jump, so I don't know who said 7:30, but it's a 4 o'clock kick at Willie B, a little afternoon kick.
I swear I thought it said 7:30. I might have been thinking of that might have been the A&M game. I think
A&M 7:30. Yeah.
I got the times confused. Okay, so I must have gotten the times mixed. All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day and week.
Yeah, Robbie. Hey, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Let's see, getting back to your questions here. The TDC questions channel. Let's see. Oscar Delp's decision will be made on Fox 5 Sports, which I don't really know where that's out of. Yeah, anyways, I guess you could probably stream it online or whatever. So, anyways, 843-790-3377. Todd Smith, appreciate you. I don't know how I missed your super chat, Todd. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Round of applause for Todd. Matt Garner, if we struggle against Vandy, we're in a lot worse shape than we should be. Indeed. Lance Player, also like the pistol outside zone. Seems to help Doty, so I formation and pistols working. Probably going to see more of that, and Doty's getting a feel for running again. It was fun to see him rip one. I agree. Grown Main Vibes, as I said that we had success under I formation. We block good under center, and it fits the O-line. Yeah, I mean, obviously it worked last year. Ryan Cawthon says no trick plays needed this week. Yeah, let's scrap all the trick plays on the 1 yard line, shall we? Let's scrap all the trick plays on the 1 yard line. Carter Bingham, does anybody remember if Adam Prentice made a difference in the run game last season? Honestly, season was a blur. I thought he did. I thought Adam Prentice played really well. Hunter Herlong, Chris, I know we'd all love to see Delp here. What's your thoughts on Delp, and where do you think he's going? I mean, I'm probably 60-40 Georgia right now. Everybody's reaching out to me, man, we got no chance to get Delp. We got no chance. So I guess the popular opinion is we don't have a chance. I don't know. Justin Kyle, this is the game you open the whole playbook and let Doty sling it and run the read option more. Unfortunately, I'm still pissed off at the fact this coaching staff pretty much lied about how bad his foot injury was because he's still not 100% 7 weeks in. Justin, I don't know. Did they lie? I don't know. I don't know. Take it up with Beamer. Add him on Twitter. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say that they lied. That's a pretty harsh accusation. Daddy O says secondary just followed the coach's orders. You can't start 12 yards with the ball and expect to defend the short passes. Yeah, it was weird last week. It was weird how, and then Zach Pickens making the comment of, we had never seen the up-tempo. It's like some of those comments, you're like, were we really ready to go? SC Football 2, Gamecocks haven't lost to Candy in 12 years, 2008. I can't pick Candy to beat South Carolina until they finally do. Plus, everyone except for the negatives know that Vandy's way worse off than USC. Way worse. Yeah, dude, why would anyone be picking Vanderbilt to win? By the way, guys, funny side note, I'm actually going on a Vanderbilt podcast tomorrow. Before you say it, I'll say it for you. Yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are. There's a Vanderbilt podcast in existence. So, yeah, I'm very, very surprised. Let's see. Elvis Black. Who has better upside, Delp or Jaheim Bell? I'll take Bell. I mean, I don't know, man. Delp's a freaking high school kid. I don't know. Sit Dog 9. Does one SEC win in 2021 meet expectations? Well, what were expectations heading into 2021 season? What were the expectations, Sit Dog? I had in the preseason 6-6 overall, 3-3 in the SEC. I think 2-4 in the SEC is whatever. I wouldn't be like irate at it. Or excuse me, not 2-4, 2-6 in the SEC. I had 3-5 in the SEC. My bad. 8 SEC games, not 6. Anyways, I had 3-5. I mean, 2-6, I wouldn't be irate. 1-7 would be tough. 1-7 would be tough. I wouldn't be happy about it. But again, year one, guys, yes, getting to a bowl game was the expectation or the hope, if you will. But it's hard for me to look at year one, even if you go 4-8. It's like, oh, this was an abysmal, dreadful season. I mean, no, it was just year one, man. Year one is kind of the record is secondary in year one. And nobody wants to hear that. Nobody heard me out on that during the summer, but it is. It is. It's more about laying the foundation, laying the culture. You know, again, there are people out there that was calling this year zero. They're calling it year zero. So, you know, I'd like to see you get to at least 5-7. 4-8 would be a really tough year. And I think getting to 5-7 is possible. Believe it or not, I think 6-6 is still possible. You got to start showing some improvement fast, but it is possible. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines real quick.
Call from
Derek.
Derek, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
Good. This is about Shane Beamer. Do you think that Shane Beamer has that same aura that Steve Spurrier had, Lou Holtz had, as a proven winner, even though he hasn't done it before? It's like when I look at Beamer on the sideline, he's more or less like a cheerleader than like a head coach. And I know that's the way that he is, but as a recruit, if he was someone of a highly talented recruit, would that be something that moves the needle for you instead of being an established coach like Coach O, Kirby Smart, just those guys that even Bob Stoops up in Kentucky? Do you think that's something that recruits look at? And also, when it comes to this, our TV deal is going to be up. If Beamer does not pan out, you think we need to back up the Brinks truck, so to speak, and get in the same ballpark as a lot of these other coaches are making $5-6 million a year, to at least give us an opportunity to be in the same playing field, to being able to get better recruits, things of that nature? I'll hang up and listen to what you got to say, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate the call. No, great stuff. So Derek brings up, does Shane Beamer have the same aura on the sideline as a Steve Spurrier or Lou Holtz? Shane Beamer is not Steve Spurrier nor Lou Holtz, right? He's Shane Beamer. To the point of, if you're a recruit, you know, is that something you're attracted to? You know, Shane Beamer more of a quote-unquote cheerleader. You know, how do you view that as a recruit? Well, it's worked for Dabo. I mean, it has. You know what I mean? It's worked for Dabo Swinney. And I know people don't want to hear that name, but guys, you all heard it as well, right? Like, there were almost an uncomfortable amount of comparisons between Shane Beamer's hiring and Shane Beamer as a person and Dabo Swinney. It was like crazy. I was starting to think, like, God, why are we comparing so much? You know what I mean? So, but it's worked for him. It's worked for him. You know, as far as if it doesn't work, I think that's what he said. If it doesn't work for Shane Beamer, I don't know if that was the point he made, but backing up the Brinks truck. Listen, here's the thing. I'll tell you this. You give Shane Beamer time. I'm in it for the long haul with Shane Beamer. You lock in. You're trying something different. You're thinking outside of the box. You're saying, hey, instead of throwing the bag at a Hugh Freeze or even a Billy Napier or, you know, whatever, a big name, you know, a Hall of Fame coach, even a coach who's a proven winner, we're taking a flyer on a guy who has been at South Carolina before, loves the university. He wants to be here. He's going to change the culture, all the things he sold you on, right? But I'll tell you this, guys. Hey, if it doesn't work, I have no issues with saying, hey, this Shane Beamer thing is a learning experience for us all, okay? It is. Because if you're South Carolina, if Shane Beamer doesn't get it done, and whatever the definition of doesn't get it done is for you, so be it. But if Shane Beamer doesn't get it done, I have no issues with South Carolina looking at themselves and saying, you know what? We tried it out. It was great in theory, but you know what? We need a proven winner. We need a Steve Spurrier, Lou Holtz caliber coach. That's the kind of coach we need. We have to get. We have to get a name. We can't take any more flyers. I'd have no issues with South Carolina, you know, learning as they go. I'd have no issues with that, right? Because it was a risk to hire Shane Beamer. Whether he loves USC or not, it was and it still is a risk until proven otherwise. So, but I'm in it for the long haul with Shane Beamer. And, you know, if it doesn't work in 6-7 years or however long it takes, You look at yourself and say it's not working. Hey, scrap it, whatever. You learn from your mistakes, and you go get another guy. That's it. You go get a proven commodity, not take a flyer on somebody. Got no issues with that. But again, that's also not me saying Shane Beamer could be the best thing that's ever happened to South Carolina. He could go win 10 national championships. I mean, we don't know. It's year one, guys. We don't know. It's year one. It's year one. That's why yesterday, again, I love my guy Pops Frisbee. Love Pops, right? And one of the things I like about Pops so much, he's very honest, right? He's very, very honest. And so the banter you get from Pops is extremely unfiltered and honest. Well, he went on ESPN Upstate yesterday, and the conversation was centered around if Beamer doesn't do this, if he doesn't do this, year 3, he could be looking at, South Carolina could be looking for a new head coach. And here's my thing, guys. I just think for a program right now that is looking for some sort of stability, having conversations like that, even having the conversation, 6 games in is so unhealthy. Like, we're 6 games in, guys. There's been some good. There's been some bad. There's been some in between. Talking about Shane Beamer and oh, here's what he has to do next year. And then let's just focus on getting through year 1. Hey, guys, Shane Beamer has not even brought in a full recruiting class yet. Can we at least allow him to bring a recruiting class in? I mean, it is crazy to me, the amount of impatience I've seen from South Carolina fans. Guys, and I'm going to be very, very, before I do, maybe let me get to a couple of these questions, because I'm about to go on a rant. And maybe we should take a break before I even do it. Eric Fryer says, expectations, 1-7 is your base. Everything else is gravy. Auburn win last year was unexpected. Missouri looks beatable. Beat Vandy. Build momentum and see what happens. Realistic, 5-7. Steal a home win against either Florida, Auburn, or Clemson to get your bowl eligibility. That's a very fair take. That's fair. That's very fair. Let's see. Tanner Land says the only problem with us getting big dog coaches is we don't have the money to keep them from going to other schools. For example, Mike Bobo, if you want big boy coaches, you got to pay them. Yeah, for sure. But hey, I mean, Shane Beamer kind of came in, and I think he made the decision on that. I think Shane Beamer sort of made the decision on that, if you will. So, again, guys, I got something I want to dive into on the other side. I got something I want to dive into on the other side because I'm seeing a lot of narrative, and again, it's not the majority, I would say, but I am seeing a fair amount of narrative from Gamecock fans about we're 6 games in, and fans are already starting conversation of, well, Shane Beamer's got to do this in year 2. He's got to do this in year 3. And if he doesn't do this in year 3, we might be looking for a new head coach. And they're already starting to put this timeline on the guy, right? Guys, hear me out. Which school do you think you're a fan of? Because you're not a Buckeye, you're not a Gator, you're not a Tiger, you're not a Bulldog. You're a Gamecock. Bottom line, you're a Gamecock. What do I mean by that? We'll talk about it more on the other side. You're tuned into the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Also, for the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to TDC Questions, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. On a Wednesday, October the 13th, guys, it is a beautiful day, by the way, in the City of Dreams. If you're in Columbia, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous day. We got to start doing like some outside Daily Crows or something. I don't know. Who remembers the one day we did the Daily Crow out of the pool, by the way? What a day that was. What an incredible day that was. Let's see. Derek McLean, I'm a Carolina fan that wants improvement on offense. The defense is doing well. The reason Tennessee did what they did to us was their tempo on offense in the game last Saturday. That's fair. That's fair to want improvement on offense because guess what? It's not fun watching a team who's not very good offensively. We know that. So, Michael Cavalier says, do we focus more on the run game or about half run, half pass? Well, Michael, you want to be as balanced as you possibly can. I don't think any coach goes out there and says we want to, we want to have to throw it or run it 70% of the time to win. I mean, you want to be as balanced as possible, right? So I think they're going to try to do both. Yeah, I think they're going to try to do both. Now, getting to the point that I was about to make before we went to our break, okay? This is something that has been on my mind the last 24 hours or so. Because like I told you guys, while I don't think it's a majority by any stretch, I'm seeing people like my good friend Tim Pops Frisbee and others, after 6 games, start to put this timeline on Shane Beamer of you got to win this many in year 2, you got to win this many in year 3, you got to show this progress, this, and if you don't after year 3, and I understand, guys, yeah, you got to show progress. No kidding. Thanks for stating the obvious. But I don't really understand where the entitlement comes from the South Carolina fan base. And let me explain what I mean by that, because the point that I'm going to make is going to piss some of you off, which is fine. But I'm going to try to say it as gracefully as I can. What blows my mind with these people on social media that after 6 games sitting at 3-3, right? I think we can all agree. At least, hey, when you look at the Vegas numbers, you've won the games you were supposed to win, and you've lost the games you were supposed to lose. Bottom line. But there are people that have the audacity to start bringing up coaches' job statuses and grading the first half as if it's been some failure on all accounts, giving it a D or an F grade, right? I just want to say to those people, who do you think you're a fan of? Because South Carolina historically, guys, has been a 500 program. Look at the overall record. Look back at the history over 100 years of it. Shane Beamer started South Carolina. Shane Beamer is doing exactly what everyone else in the history of this football program has done. Outside of a real 4-year window pocket of success that Steve Spurrier brought you and a blip of success in the late 80s, I mean, what has this football program really done, guys? So it's comical to me that there are people in year 1 after 6 games, they want to already try to start to draw conclusions about Shane Beamer. And it's just, again, I say to you this, what team do you think you pull for? Because South Carolina does not have some rich tradition and history of winning. This is not LSU. This is not Ohio State. This is not Georgia. This is not Clemson of late. This is not Alabama. This is not Penn State. This is not Texas. This is not Oklahoma. This is not Southern Cal. This is none of those schools. You're a Gamecock. Bottom line, you're a Gamecock. And I love the people, too, that say, oh, you know, your attitude, you're accepting mediocrity. You're accepting mediocrity. Guys, here's a news flash, and cover your ears if you don't want to hear it. If you're a Gamecocks football fan, to a degree, you do accept mediocrity. Because that's all South Carolina football's ever been. is mediocre. Yet you show up year after year after year. And I say you, I should say we, because yours truly does it as well. Gamecocks football has never been anything but mediocre. It is, and it has been. It's like a 3 to 4 year window with Steve Spurrier made people forget who South Carolina is and has been. And that's not to say that it can't break that mold. That's not to say that South Carolina cannot evolve into an elite program one of these days. It's happened in the upstate. It can happen at South Carolina. There's no reason why the Gamecocks cannot get to the promised land and be a team that realistically year in and year out competes for SEC championships or at least SEC East titles. I think that's a very realistic achievement. But to act like Shane Beamer in year one has done anything that is out of the ordinary, he's not meeting expectations, what are you talking about? This is a 500 program. That's who South Carolina is. If that. I mean, the Gamecocks have had a handful, and I mean a handful. You can probably count them on one hand. Double-digit win seasons. They've had a handful of, 9-win seasons. They've had a handful of bowl game victories. Guys, you didn't even win your first bowl game in 1995. So it's like, what are we talking about? Who do Gamecock fans think they are to be demanding we should be 5-1? Like, the absurdity of some people. The entitlement of some Gamecock fans. I understand Steve Spurrier and listen, bro, I grew up on Steve Spurrier practically. I grew up on Steve Spurrier. I get it. I want to be back there as bad as anybody. I'm tired of watching highlights from 2010 to 2013. But I think almost the Steve Spurrier era, while it was great, it made people lose perspective of how difficult this job is. So Shane Beamer sitting at 3-3, he's doing nothing that hasn't ever been done at the University of South Carolina. And so to start having conversations in year one after 6 games about, well, he's got to show this progress in year 2, he's got to show this progress in year 3. Guys, this program needs stability more than it needs anything. It needs stability. You got to give somebody a chance. Because unfortunately, guys, and I know you got Lou Holtz, I know you got Steve Spurrier, but with the way the SEC's shaking out, Kentucky, look at them now. Tennessee's going to get better. Missouri's working to get better under Drinkwitz. Georgia and Florida, they are who they are. The challenge has never been greater. Hey, what your buddies in the upstate are doing, the challenge has never been tougher. And not everybody's going to want to take on that challenge and accept that challenge and be in it for the long haul. Give the dude a chance. Talking about, oh, if he doesn't do it by year 3, we got to move a different direction. That is lunacy. Like that is pure lunatic talk. You should be thrown in the loony bin for saying something as ridiculous as that. You're not a Tiger. You're not a Buckeye. You're not a Dog. You're not a Crimson Tide. You're not a Trojan. You're not a Longhorn. You're a Gamecock. Understand what comes with that. You are a Gamecock. You are a fan of a program who's never won anything. That's just who you are, whether you like it or not. You can either accept that and embrace it and hope for better days ahead with Shane Beamer as your head football coach, or you can kick and scream and not accept that reality because that is who you are. You got a 1969 ACC title to your name, and you got a 2010 SEC East title. Outside of that, you ain't won jack shit. You ain't won jack shit. You won a couple Outback Bowls. Congratulations. But you're not a program where winning 8 games is a bad season. There are programs out there like that, the ones I mentioned. Those programs exist. That is not you. That is not you. I almost miss the days of, when I was growing up, 2000, like I said, I really dug in like end of 02, beginning of 03, when I could really understand and cling to the passion of what it meant to be a Gamecock, right? I remember the days like 2004 when South Carolina hit 6 wins. It was like the Gamecocks just won the Super Bowl. That was a huge deal. And I'm not saying we should go back to, our goals are only to hit 6 wins. But I think you got to just appreciate where the program's been. You got to appreciate those minor victories, if you will. I don't know. I mean, it just some of the entitlement I see from Gamecock fans, it's mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing. You're a historically 500 football program. So again, to act like Shane Beamer has done you some disservice because you're 3-3 in year 1 with a roster it's not even his is crazy. It's crazy. Some of these fans out here are crazy. It's wild to me. You're not a dog, you're not a Buckeye, you're not a Trojan, you're not a Longhorn. You are a Gamecock. You're a Gamecock. Understand what that means when I say that. We're all Gamecocks. We're not in this because our team wins the championship every year. We're not in this because our team even competes for it every year. Gamecock fans are some of the most stubborn, eternal optimist, persevering human beings on this planet. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And Gamecock fans have been showing up for 100 years with no reason to. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. With no reason to other than they love their school. That's it. That's it. There's nothing that says South Carolina will ever win anything of substance. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Nothing. So I would just say let's pipe down on the whole Shane Beamer job status talk. Just for a minute. You want to go after Satterfield? That is totally fine because you know what? He's putting a product out there, and so is Shane Beamer. But you want to go after Satterfield? Fine. Fine. But the talks of Beamer and like already trying to put some wild standard on him he has to do. Well, if he don't win 8 games in year 3, we got to fire him. That is crazy. That's crazy to say that. That's crazy. And again, it's not a healthy conversation for a program that so desperately needs some stability. So, there's your rant. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's go back to your questions. Let's see. I saw some of you commenting. Yeah, Ryan Cawthon, I think Missouri's beatable. Absolutely. Absolutely, Missouri's beatable. Let's see. John Braddock, we've dealt with mediocrity for so long. Yeah, John, your entire life. What do you mean? That's all you've dealt with. Again, outside of a 3 to 4 year window at Steve Spurrier, Gamecocks football is the definition of mediocre. Is it not? Am I saying anything that's not a fact? Maybe it hurts. It hurts me to say because, guys, I want to pull for a winner personally. You think my show wouldn't be more fun if I was covering a team that won every week? God, it'd be a blast. It'd be a blast. I've got even more incentive to pull for South Carolina to win. Yeah, I'm a fan, but hell, us winning, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. It's good for business when the Gamecocks win football games. It's great. Hard to sell merchandise behind a team that's not very good. But you just are who you are. My only point is this again. And Travis Ford, I know he's just chirping like this, just chiming in. Yes, Travis, believe it or not, there are people out there that maybe they're not saying fire Beamer, but I've just seen a lot of people already start conversations of, well, he's got to do this and do that. And I'll tell you what, into year 2, if he's not doing this, and into year 3, if he's not doing this, we might have to move on after into year 3. To even have those conversations is lunacy. It's pure lunacy. It's idiotic. It's ridiculous. And I'll put you in your place if you want me to for having those convos. It's absurd. I mean, Carolina's not 1-5. They're 3-3. They're right where Carolina football has been its entire existence. And they're going to be 4-3 after Saturday. To act like the sky is falling, like we're just underachieving on some massive level is laughable. It is pure comedy gold. You got to see the program for what it is, man. You got, I hate to, because again, South Carolina can get back to what it was with Spurrier. I believe that. You have to believe that. You have to set that as the goal, right? But you also have to keep perspective of who you are and what you are. And as Steve Spurrier said, you are what your record says you are. And for this program, you're a 500 program. That's pretty much what you are. You have some nice wins. You have some demoralizing losses. You have a lot of painful losses. That's just who you are. That's it. There's been some great years of Carolina football mixed in with a lot of really, really bad ones. Really bad ones. And Travis, I rant on this every day because slapdicks like you tune in and say stupid ass shit. That's why I rant on it. Coach Ford, what's the game plan, Coach Ford? Andy Hansen says, you were correct. We're a 500 team, partly because we kept coaches like Sparky Woods, Brad Scott, and Muschamp too long. Let's see. We need to give Beamer time, but there has to be benchmarks. I mean, Andy, of course. Right? You got to show – I'm not saying – you got to show progress, most certainly. You can't go 0-12 next year. Or you can't go 3-9 in year 3, right? I mean, obvious. Those are obvious things. Those are obvious things. I'm just saying, like, to already start having conversations this year about, like, what he's got to be doing in year 3. I think the people that, I don't know, man. My thought process, and I thought we were all on the same page, was my thought process was that when Shane Beamer was hired, we all understood it was going to be, like, at minimum a 5-year project. I really thought so. But apparently I was wrong. Apparently I'm off my rocker and have no idea what I'm talking about. Talking about what he's already got to, if he ain't winning 8 games by year 3, he's got to get out of here. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm tired of South Carolina being known as the place where coaches come to die, basically. Their careers come to a screeching halt. Let's give Beamer the opportunity to make it where that's not the case. All I'm saying, wild concept, I know. Again, it's a wild turnaround for me going from being the fire the coach guy to the defend the coach at every turn guy. But I mean, it's just for me, it's year 1. Chris, to be honest, I haven't heard much in the way of people calling for Beamer and what he needs to do. I don't hear it at the games. I've been to 2 away games already this year. Haven't heard. Again, the crowd is small, Elvis. Again, I hate to keep harping on it. The crowd is small. It is very small. But again, it's when somebody like Pops Frisbee, who again love Pops. If you miss that context, that's really kind of that's kind of what I'm speaking to. When someone like Pops, who has a voice, this isn't just some random person. He has a voice. He's using that voice to speak on those types of things. Like, it's like, that's what brought it to my attention. Travis Ford, I made my point on Marcus Satterfield yesterday. I have no issues. I think he should bring Satterfield back next year. I think it's just foolish to try to judge somebody off 1 season. I'd have no issues. You want to bring Satterfield back next year? If it doesn't work next year, hey, make the move at the end of next season. That's fine with me. I just don't know how you're going to judge a man with players that aren't his at all. So, it's you know, and if that's your, because I think that's some people's thought process. Oh, if he doesn't fire Satterfield at the end of the year, he doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe he just wants to give the man a chance with some of their recruits coming in and guys who maybe fit their scheme and system a little better. I don't know. I mean, Aaron Hodges, they're 3-3 with the last-second kick to win at ECU and barely winning at home against Troy. It matters because every game's a measuring stick. First off, can we put some respect on the Troy Trojans? They're a pretty good football team. East Carolina's also looked pretty good since then, too. But, yeah, you just are who you are. Just are who you are. See, I love getting under Travis Ford's skin. He's upset now. He's upset. Travis, again, I wish you'd just nut up and call the phone line. Just call the phone line. Grow some nuts. Dude, I love the banter. You can't get under my skin, Travis. You cannot get under my skin. I love the banter. I live for the banter. I live for the disagreement because I know how to separate sports banter and disagreement from personal life or whatever. So, I mean, that's how you can tell, though. When people start going for the personal jabs, that's how you know. You won. You won. Travis Lee, sorry. We gotta. I'm gonna just start saying Coach Ford. Coach Ford. Aaron Hodges, let me ask you this, Chris. What's your expectation for Beamer? Well, again, Aaron, I don't think you hired Beamer unless you thought he was the guy to get you back. But again, I think realistically, if Shane Beamer can get this program over a 10-year period, averaging between 7 to 8 wins, every 3 to 4 years realistically be competing for the SEC East, I think that'd be incredible. And I think Beamer can do that. So, I think those are very realistic expectations for the South Carolina football program. Once you get there, then you can start talking about what do we got to do to take the next step to become elite. But you got to walk before you can run. Get back to making a bowl game consistently. That's the first thing you have to do. Because, I mean, hell, you ain't been to a bowl game, 2018 was the last one? It's been quite a while. It feels like it's been forever. So, get back to making a bowl game consistently first. But you wouldn't have hired the guy if you didn't think he had the potential to get you back to the promised land, or at least close to it, at least build back towards that way. Let's see. Drew Taylor just got my Beamer Ball and Black Magic shirts. They are quality shirts. Gamecock Nation, go and help Chris move this merch. Yeah, tsus.store. We're actually dropping a ton of new hoodies, long sleeves. Going to be promoting that on social media here shortly. Yeah, all those were made this morning. Beamer Ball and Shane Storm hoodies and long sleeves. Gear up for the winter. It's coming. It's crazy how warm it's going to be this weekend, though. But, yeah, going to be here before you know it. Hoodie season will be here before you know it. Let's see. Josh Travis, last I checked, 5-7 or 6-6 is progress from last year. Nobody goes from 2-8 to national champion in 1 year. Anybody who expects that is ridiculous. Yeah, I'd agree. Again, you got a great opportunity to be 4-3 after Saturday. 5 more after that to go. Year one kind of is what it is, year one. So lay the foundation, establish the culture. From there, we knew it was going to be a roller coaster ride on the field. And hey, whatever Beamer wants to do, if he wants to fire Saturday after year one, then so be it. That's fine. Whatever. I'm behind Beamer 110%. He wants to fire him. That's cool. Cool. Whatever. He's a grown ass man getting paid millions of dollars. We got people fired up in the comments. I love this. Let's see. Halo Master 96, I promise you don't get under my skin. I just laugh because your username is literally Halo Master. Like, it's either got to be like a 12-year-old in his basement or like a 50-year-old with Cheetos on his fat ass belly. Has to be one of those two. Has to be. I love the comments, bro. You're feeding me exactly what I want, Halo, when you give me the comments. Travis Ford saying, I love the comments. This is great. This is great. Yeah, I mean, again, Satterfield has been perfect, no, but we do have an O-line that can't block and receivers who can't catch. So we got to fix a lot of other things, too. It's not just play calling. But, hey, it's year one, and everybody's figuring it out on the go. So are you totally shocked? I mean, did you think we were going to be some offensive juggernaut? I didn't. I thought we'd be better, but I also thought Luke Doty would be healthy. Jennifer Tate, why do we need to be talking about our history? We all know our history. We don't have to keep being mediocre. Beamer can be the guy to change that brand. He certainly can. I'm just giving you perspective. Again, here comes that word again, perspective. Again, Beamer's just trying to clean up the mess that was made. That's it. Trying to clean up the mess that was made. So, anyways, we can talk Vanderbilt. Again, I'm very excited for this weekend. I got Gamecocks minus 18 is my best bet. I really think South Carolina will bounce back in a big way. And I don't want to spoil my prediction, but I guess I am. Gamecocks minus 18. Vandy sucks. They're not good. You beat them 12 in a row. And if there's one thing that's been a consistent, no matter how good or bad you've been, it's been beating Vanderbilt. So it's been beating Vandy. The DGD podcast says, when are you going to come back on the show? I'm down for whenever, man. Hit me up. I'm down for whenever. Let's see. Ryan Cawthorn, Luke Doty is healthy, according to Beamer. Is that everyone's excuse for a young quarterback learning still? Well, Ryan, they said on the telecast on Saturday that Luke Doty told them he was close to 100% and wasn't there. So I don't know at this point, man. I don't know at this point. I don't know. John Gibbs, Shamer checks the box as a head coach. It's his responsibility to make sure his coordinators and coaches are doing what they're supposed to do. If they aren't, then fire them. He wants to be here, and he's one of us. That's what you want in a head coach. Yeah, that's why you gave him the job, practically. Basically why you gave him the job. Nan Martin says, I think we show up. Let's see. I think we show out on Saturday if the O-line steps up. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. You should be able to have success against Vandy, no question. Let's see. Savannah Webster says, so shocked people still watch NASCAR. I feel like that was a very random comment, Savannah, but maybe it wasn't. Justin Warren, just confusing how our O-line went from good and decent last season to this and causing the leading rusher in the SEC to not be able to perform like he should, or any of our running backs, honestly. Well, I think defenses were also worse last year, and statistics would back that up. No, it is baffling. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's a different scheme. It's a different, different coaching staff. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Kevin Harris also had a back procedure in the preseason, which I think was probably a much bigger deal than they made it. Anytime you have a procedure on your back, it's a pretty big deal. So, Joseph, how do we have more success in the deep ball against Georgia than every other team? That has been one of the most disappointing things. I have no idea. I mean, dude, what were you down, like 40 to 7 at that point or something? I don't know. I guess in the beginning of the game, you also hit a deep ball. So I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. Justin Kyle, all I want from Beamer is top 3 in the East every year. And a year here and there, we have a chance to win at the end of the year to win the East. Again, I think that's doable. There's not a Gamecock fan out there that, again, what I said earlier, realistic expectations for the South Carolina football program, averaging 7.5 wins per season over a decade span. 7.5 wins every 3 to 4 years. You realistically, either you have the right quarterback, you've got a veteran team, your schedule's favorable, God forbid, whatever it is, you're able to compete realistically for the SEC East. And a Gamecock fan in the world who has half a brain that would turn that down. That would be, dude, it would be, I'll tell you guys, it would be so much fun to pull for a team that went 8-4 every year. It really would. It really, really would. That's all. Honestly, I want to win SEC title. Just go 8-4. All right, let's jump to the phone
Call
lines.
from
Right up.
Yo, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, doing good. Quick question, and I'll listen to your comments off the air. But I like your analogy about insanity doing the same thing over, expecting a different result. That said, with the blueprint of the upstate, I mean, and it could be that ACC was a weak conference, what have you. What are your thoughts of Carolina joining another division, maybe even ACC? I mean, it's an easier road to winning, or do you think that we would just succumb to the level of talent that we're playing in? Just curious your thought there. And again, I'll listen to your comments, and I appreciate the show.
Appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much. I appreciate the call. So the question again being, you guys heard it. Should South Carolina move to a different conference? Hypothetically, that makes sense, right? If the goal is just simply to get a ring, because I'd love to get a ring, right? I'd love to get a ring. I'd love to have a championship ring. I'd love to have a championship. I'd love to have a banner to hang, right? So that makes sense in that way. But realistically, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. In a day and age where people are clamoring, everybody's basically begging to get in the SEC. You know? And at the end of the day, it comes down to money. It comes down to money, right? Even if it made sense, it would never happen. It would never happen. So, you know, it's a hypothetical combo. Is it a fun hypothetical combo? I don't know, but it's just one that I don't normally spend too much time even discussing because it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Now, again, and people dog the ACC, and the ACC is trash, right? We get it. The ACC is not very good. Doesn't even compare to the level of competition the SEC provides. But you can honestly attribute, I think, a lot of Clemson getting to where they are now is, you know, when Dabo got the job, guys, it's much easier. And you look at North Carolina, too. It's much easier to build a program in the ACC than it is in the SEC. That's just a fact. There's just no way around that. You know, a team like Kentucky, for example. I mean, guys, they're undefeated playing for first place in the division, and they are a 23-point underdog. Kentucky probably wins the ACC this year, right? So here's the thing. South Carolina's run from 2010 to 13 was great. It was awesome. It was a blast. But while South Carolina was going 11-2 and winning Outback Bowls, Clemson was winning ACC championships. And in the grand scheme of things, winning a conference title is much more impactful than winning an Outback Bowl. It just is. It just is, end of the day. So, and again, I know Gamecock fans, they love to slam Clemson on the ACC scheduling, and y'all don't play nobody, And I'm not saying they do. I'm not saying they do. But you know what's, and you know, we pound our chest with the SEC schedule. We play this tough schedule. Man, we don't run from competition. We ain't scared of nobody. You know what's cooler than having a hard schedule? Winning. Winning's a lot cooler than having a hard schedule. Me personally, I'd rather win than have a hard schedule. With that being said, can you leave the SEC? No. It would be detrimental to you. The only way it would make sense, hear me out, the only way it would make sense is this, is if you left the SEC and you went independent. I think if you tried to jump to the ACC or a different conference, things could get messy. If you want to leave and go independent, fine. But again, it's like I kind of sit there sometimes and I'm like, and I know Clemson's obviously struggling this year, but I've sat there in years past and I'm like, you know, while Gamecock fans are shouting and hurling their insults at Clemson for the scheduling, I'm sitting there like, man, I wish we had that schedule. God, I wish that was us. I really do. I'd love to, because here's the thing, guys, in the ACC, you can have a very mediocre team and go 7-5. If you're mediocre in the SEC, you ain't making a bowl game. If you go 6-6 in the SEC, you had a pretty decent team that year, actually, I would say, because it's just so tough. It's so tough. I mean, guys, think about being in the West where basically year in, year out, I know A&M just beat them, but year in, year out, you have a built-in loss with Alabama. If you're in the East of late, you've got a built-in loss with Georgia. What built-in losses are there in the ACC? I guess outside of Clemson, who's been dominating that conference, but outside of them, there's no built-in loss. And again, this is not me trying to slam on Clemson and take anything away. They have been beating good teams, Aaron Hodges. You're correct. And again, I'm not trying to sit here and give Clemson tons of credit because fuck those guys. But, yeah. I mean, anyway, so long story short, hypothetically, do I understand what you're saying? Yes, I do. Will it ever happen? No, it will not. No, it will not. Justin Kyle, what a question this is. Chris, would you be okay if we dropped Clemson from our schedule? They don't really help our calls to lose. Our conference will always give us a high strength of schedule. Justin, no. 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 Listen, I understand the last 6 years or so has been brutal. It's been very tough on Gamecock fans. No, you can't not play your rival, man. You can't not play your rival. That's nope. Aaron Hodges makes another good point. I agree with you. I also hate the ACC comparison because, again, you haven't beaten an ACC team in freaking – dude, when's the last time Carolina beat an ACC team? 2015 UNC? It's been forever, man. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls as well. Guys, we're having fun here on a Wednesday on a hump day. A lot of passion in the comments. Love to see it. Hey, when you got folks like Coach Ford and Halo Master 69 throwing out comments, you know it's a lit day on the Daily Crow. And that means business is popping. Love to see it. Guys, questions, comments, calls, where we can talk Vandy. We can talk more about whatever you guys want to talk about on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, we're back. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Folks, I love doing this, honestly. I love the Daily Crow because I can come on here and just talk my shit, and you guys rock with it. So appreciate y'all. Even Halo Master 69 and Coach Ford himself. Coach Ford from Clemson. Yeah, I think that's who that is, by the way. Might be Coach Ford from Clemson. Always going to be a good time. Always a good time. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls. By the way, somebody mentions Jake Bentley. Jake Bentley, his over-under is on Prize Picks. I was like, why not just take the over on Jake? Just for fun. Apparently, he's crushing it at South Alabama this year, so why not? Why not? Mm-hmm. Billy, good point. We did beat NC State with Bentley. You're correct. You are correct. Let's see. Nan Martin says, if nothing else, we have the most passionate fans. Love you guys. Hey, and we do. We do. And I love the Gamecocks fan base. And the Gamecocks fan base deserves a winner. They do. They do. There's many a Gamecock probably tuned in right now, and certainly many a Gamecock that fill Williams-Brice Stadium who really have never had much at all to crow about. And my prayer every night is at some point you do. Because Gamecock fans deserve it, man. Gamecock fans deserve it. We deserve it. Brennan M in the TDC Questions channel says, please make a bowl game while I'm in the band. Hey, it's still possible this year, man. Again, you should be 4-3 after this weekend. Who knows? College football's crazy, man. You just never know what might happen. Travis says, we're grumpy Gamecocks, but damn it, we are Gamecocks. Yeah, indeed. Tyler Poole says, I think we find a rhythm on offense to get a couple upset dubs by years, and it's possible. Mizzou's a winnable game. I picked you to beat Auburn in the preseason. I know they look a lot better than I expected, but hey, you got them at home. Who knows? Right? Clemson's looked very beatable this season. I'm not going to set my expectations, too crazy high, but they look beatable. So, who knows, guys? Who knows? College football is a weird game. By the way, guys, did you see what Marcus Satterfield said in his media availability? They asked him about the play call on the goal line with Jordan Burch. He said, quote, I wish I would have gotten out of my own head. If I had my do-overs, I'd run it in. I appreciate the accountability. I do.
Call from
Luke RJ.
Luke RJ. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, what's up with it, man?
What's going on? Not much, just hanging out, man. What's up?
Man, you are dropping some Gamecock therapy today, man. I remember, when Lou Holtz was here and after the game on Saturday, looking in the Sunday newspaper just to see if the Gamecocks were in the top 25, man. We're around the same age. Looking at the newspaper, that was the shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I remember looking at the newspaper. It was always fun to get the state paper on Sunday. Like, I remember the 2005 season when my grandfather got the state newspaper and just seeing, getting those. I wish I'd have kept them. Like, I look back and I'm like, God, why did I not keep those papers? Because I'd have them framed all over the studio. But, no, yeah. It's good times. Good times.
Yeah, so, I mean, I like everything you said. I mean, it was good for me just to hear that. But at the same time, we were in the top 25 for like 3 or 4 years in a row. So that kind of, changed everybody's, feelings about where we could be.
But, you know, I just I mean, I remember thinking, you know, Beamer is the one who can turn this thing around, like, and you know what you said about stability and giving him a chance. You know, he's giving his coaches, you know, their full opportunity to do their jobs, and you know, not override them or, you know, try to do their jobs for him. But he's just such a nice guy, and he's giving them every opportunity to figure this thing out, man. And you know, we'll see if he can you know, get this thing going.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll tell you this too, man, because you mentioned the point of he's being a nice guy and he's given the opportunity to figure it out. I mean, what's the other option? Like, I love, like, there's some people that want Shane Beamer to come out, you know, on a Tuesday presser and say that, oh yeah, Marcus Satterfield stunk on Saturday. It's like, you know, these are working relationships. Like, these people work together. You know, it's not like Shane Beamer can go out there and tweet something or say something in a presser. And it's not like he's going to have to see Marcus Satterfield face to face probably like 20 minutes after that. So, you know, I mean, it's a work, and they all have mutual respect for each other because they're all football coaches and they all work their asses off and they all understand the grind they all go through. And, you know, so, but yeah, I mean, again, 6 games in, we're not, you know, I know people want to draw conclusions already. There's just no way you can. So we'll see if they can make improvements this weekend. You know, I think this fan base, this program, this football team desperately needs a big win. And who knows, man? You got 6 more opportunities. Who knows what might happen? So,
yeah, and you know, going back to what you said before, you know, he's going to learn on the job while he's, you know, doing this thing. I mean, it's his first year, and you know, he may have made a couple mistakes, but you know, or if it turns out that way, and he'll fix it, and I still believe in that he, you know, hearing his introduction press conference, man, I was just so fired up and like, this guy knows what he's doing, man. You know, we got to have faith that he is still that same guy, you know, and he's gonna figure it out. He'll learn what to do. I mean, what you were saying today was just I appreciated it a lot.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm just preaching the good word. No, no, I mean, it's you know, I think Shane Beamer's been authentic and genuine from day one, and I just don't want people to lose sight of, like, you know, we were all fired up and excited, and you know, we believed in the guy, and he, you know, all I heard, what did we hear all summer, right? These are guys that want to be here, man. They all want to be here. They all want to be Gamecocks, and that still applies today. But to think that just because they all want to be here and just because there's love in the building and a new culture, I mean, I feel like most of us all knew it was going to be a bit of a roller coaster. There were going to be some bumps and bruises and you know, some rocky times ahead. And, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like ripping a Band-Aid off, man. It just, you know, they're trying to change the culture right now as they also try to win football games. And so there's going to be some bright spots. There's going to be some not so bright spots. And you know, it is what it is. So year one, not a year to draw conclusions in my mind. But, you know, I think I can sit here confidently still say that I feel as good as I felt in the preseason about, hey, I think the program is headed on a positive trajectory again. I trust in Beamer, what he's doing, believe in what he's doing. I believe he'll make all the necessary decisions to get South kind of closer to where they want to be, not farther away. So if, you know, people are clamoring about the OC and the offensive line coach and this coach and that coach, I think Shane will going to make those necessary decisions that they need to be made. So, and you got to trust in that, man. Yeah. I think you got to trust in that.
Yeah. So looking towards the Vandy, man. You know, I don't really like that that bet minus 18, man, just because I just, you know, our offense, and I'm just thinking if we don't get like 2 or 3 turnovers like we have been doing, you know, just from offensive production, I just don't think we can score enough points to cover that. But, you know, you're probably smarter than I am, and I've been looking at your picks and stuff, especially on the Gamecocks. But, you know, during the season, we want to see smart football, you know, smart QB play, and it just it hasn't been like that, and that's where people get frustrated.
Well, and I think especially the smart football side. The smart football side, certainly. I mean, listen, I'm not going to ignore the fact that there's just been way too many procedural penalties and stupid penalties and shooting yourself in the foot. And, this team's already fighting an uphill battle in many areas on its roster. You're certainly not good enough to overcome beating yourself. You know what I mean? You're certainly not. So, trust me, I share in the frustration and totally understand the frustration when it comes to that facet of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not only penalties for me. It's the decision making by the QB sometimes in a certain situation, or the play call on when that playing a trick play, or just other examples.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get a holding penalty on first or second down, you can just call that drive and just go ahead and punt, because we ain't gonna get a first down if that happens. But I hope we just beat Vandy, get that fourth win. The bet covers. I mean, that's a big deal. I really think a lot of people bet that. You said don't ever bet on the Gamecocks, but that's gonna be huge. I really think a lot of people put some money down. They hammered that thing. So I hope we beat Vandy.
Yeah. No, which is fair. I would have told you to take the over as well. So, I think we all thought 3.5 was disrespectful in the preseason. So,
I definitely did.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Again, I think it's going to be a fun Saturday. But, yeah, Luke, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Appreciate you always tuning in, interacting. Great stuff.
All right, man. I love that music you got too, man. Every time I hear that, what's up with it?
I appreciate it. Yeah, my dude Marco 808's on the beat, hooking me up.
Yeah. All right, man. Have a good day.
Yeah, man. You too. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's what Luke RJ was saying about the Vanderbilt game specifically. Again, I got Gamecocks minus 18, guys. Again, I know South Carolina has struggled offensively. I totally get it. I don't know. I just think Vandy's awful. I think the Gamecocks will find something in the ground game. I think they'll be able to move the football. I think your defense, again, will have a bounce-back game, and I think they'll be able to move the football enough, and would not be surprised if South Carolina hits 30 points. Again, I don't think that's unrealistic or unfair to say. Again, like I said, guys, Vandy has lost their 2 SEC games, and I know it was Georgia and Florida, but they've lost their 2 SEC games by a combined score of 104-0. All right, let's jump back to the phone lines real quick.
Phil Harris.
Phil, what's going on, my man? How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I just happened to see something about Satterfield's comments regarding the goal line play, and it just made me think you get what you paid for, in the sense that, these coordinators are inexperienced rather, at the Power 5 level. So you're going to get guys that, are hearing the noise and the criticism, and it's getting inside of their head, where you might not get that with someone that is very experienced at this level. They're just going to continue to do what they do, and maybe scheme some things up to the players that we have and do the best with what they've been dealt for right now. If you're running trick plays in a goal line situation, that to me shouts inexperience and insecurity. And that's what we hired. And that's where we are. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that Shane Beamer has made in his early tenure at coach, was getting these guys in here. Now, Clayton White has done a pretty good job. Now, I think he has arguably better players on the defense, so that might be helping his cause. But when you got these guys like Satterfield and the offense is not great, the roster is not where it needs to be, you really needed somebody in here that knew what they were doing. Go pay a little bit extra to get somebody in here that is going to run the best plays possible. Because, just look at Ole Miss, right? Or just Tennessee. They have, especially last year with Ole Miss, they probably had a roster that's comparable somewhat to ours. Tennessee, I don't think their roster is that much better than ours in terms of the offense. But, look, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they want to do. They've proven it at other levels. I'm talking about the coordinators and the offense mind scheme that they have brought into that program, and they look better than us on offense. Point blank, period. So I
They,
just think
they
it's
actually
a
have an
misstep,
identity.
but we
Yeah.
got to exactly an identity for sure. And I think that's a misstep, and we got to deal with it. It would have been better if somebody else was hired that knew what they're doing at this level. On the job training, I guess if you want to say where we have a CEO head coach, right?
Right.
On the job training, not so bad, but when you're surrounding him with inexperienced guys at the best level, I just think it's a recipe for disaster. And I think we probably could have won at least one or possibly two more games if we had a more experienced guy beside of him. It could have been Mike Bobo last year, but he wanted to, tuck tail and run. So unfortunately, that's where we are now.
So why do you think Beamer hired Satterfield then? Because I think all the points you make are valid. Again, I'm not above criticizing Satterfield and even criticizing the initial hire of him because, hey, I said it when he was hired. It's like, hey, I don't hate the hire. I don't love it either, though. He's an unproven commodity, and I don't blame Gamecock fans if they feel a little underwhelmed. Above all, I trust Beamer, but I didn't blame fans that felt underwhelmed because we were sold on, you were going to get two big-time coordinators, in trading for getting Shane Beamer. And I don't know that you would classify Marcus Satterfield as that big-time splash hire everybody was waiting for.
No. Maybe the administration told him, listen, we're in a bind with the Muschamp contract. You did us a favor and we're asking for or took less money than what most coaches in the SEC make. Can we do that with the coordinators? And that probably limited his searchability to find some hotshot guy that's done it at the Power 5 level. So, and also, in Beamer's mind, he's probably like, I'm going to find some guys that just haven't been given an opportunity because that's kind of what he is, right? We know that he's applied to head coaching positions at other places, smaller schools, and for whatever reason didn't take that job or wasn't completely offered it 100%. So maybe it's just the mentality where he wants to bring in guys that, just haven't had the opportunity and, want to make them better, just like he's trying to do for himself at this program. But I don't know if that's working right now. I mean, I think you can make an argument that it's not. So.
Yeah, they had a previous relationship before South Carolina as well, so maybe that had something to do with it.
So he knows the guy.
Do you have? Let me ask you this: do you have any hope for? And I guess this could be a question to everybody, but we're just 6 games in. Do you have any hope for Satterfield that he can amount to a not even elite, but a competent SEC play caller?
I hope so. I don't think there's a lot to really back it up at this point where you can have a lot of hope for it. But you hope, as in a fan of our program, that he can get this thing together and right the ship. But I would have loved to have somebody else, to be honest with you. And it's just, it is what it is. We got to roll with this guy at least until the end of the season, maybe beyond that. But hey, it is what it is, man.
Yeah. No, hey, listen, all fair points. All fair points. I'll give you that because again, the offense hasn't been great, and that's putting it kindly. So, so.
All right,
Phil,
brother. That's
always
all I
good
got for you
stuff,
today.
man. No, I appreciate you, Phil. Thanks so much, my man.
Go Cox.
Go Cox. Take care. 843-790-3377. Again, guys, I'm not above or beyond criticizing Satterfield. Fair. I think it's fair. Hey, you're getting paid to do a job. I just, again, 6 games in. Has Satterfield been great? No, he hasn't, but I'm just still hesitant to say he's the only problem. I'm hesitant to say that he's the only problem. I think there's personnel issues. There's been obvious execution issues that are certainly not coached. So we'll see. Coach Ford says, you're just a cheerleader right now. Likely you're one telling me that I was wrong on Muschamp. Coach Ford, you must have not followed my content for very long if you think that's the case. I was the conductor of the Fire Muschamp train, my friend. Listen, I believed when Muschamp was hired, hey, everybody deserves a chance. I'm not going to be saying fire Muschamp from the day he's hired. But I was ask anyone in this chat, I was the conductor of the Fire Muschamp train to the point where Gamecocks football, Okay, you're talking to Justin Kyle. Either way, I'm just making the point. I was the conductor of that train to where Gamecock football blocked me on social media. You guys remember that? Blocked us on social media. Now, we're beyond that, which is great. Again, like I've told you guys, even right now, sitting in 3-3, my life is exponentially better. Exponentially better with Shane Beamer as the head football coach. Damn, Coach Ford, you should have started a podcast then. Could have been way ahead of me. Oh, Coach Ford. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I wanted Garrett Riley for OC. Aaron Hodges, Muschamp was doomed for the beginning. If you can't win at a Florida, you're not going to win here. Yeah, Luke RJ, Gamecocks football, the at Gamecock FB account on Twitter and Instagram blocked us because, I guess because all that. And, we were blocked from like 2019 all the way till this spring. So, Rebecca Dean Strandage, the game Saturday, 4 o'clock on SEC Network. 4 o'clock on SEC Network. That's where you can watch the Gamecocks take on Vandy. Four o'clock, SEC Network. Again, guys, questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Eric Fryer, speaking of blocked, Coach Ford had to clean up my feed. Oh, people throwing out the block button here on a Wednesday. Justin Martin says, Chris, are you going to the South Carolina State Fair? At some point, yes. Obviously not today. We're very busy today on this Wednesday. Blessed to be busy, by the way. But, yes, at some point, I will be going to the fair. Absolutely. Carter Bingham, I did want Joe Brady. Dude, I'll be honest with you. When the coaching search first happened, I wanted Joe Brady as the head coach. I would have liked seeing Joe Brady as the head coach. Crispy841 says, I like Beamer, and I hope he does well at SC, but I will say this. Just because he wants to be at South Carolina and was there previously doesn't mean he's the best guy for the job. Well, Crispy, we're way, way beyond that conversation. He's the head coach now. So, he's the head coach now. So, buckle up. Buckle up. Got to be in it for the long haul. Eric Fryer, no slap dicks allowed. As you get older, your bullshit filter shrinks. Indeed, indeed. Jennifer Tate says, I knew they were hiring Shane Beamer as soon as they fired Muschamp. Well, you knew quicker than me. That's for sure. Let's see. Jennifer Tate, just a weird gut feeling. Okay. Taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. 10 minutes to go. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Wednesday, October the 13th, guys. Quick reminder, episode 517 of the podcast dropping this morning. Be sure to check that out. Also, we're live out at 10 Route today, 5 to 7 Very excited to get back out to Tin Roof. Going to be a really, really good time. We had a blast last week, so I highly suggest you come check it out. We get rowdy. There's no question. We get rowdy out at Tin Roof, so again, we'd love to see you guys out there. Other than that, guys, check out our giveaways on Instagram. We're giving away our Summer Doodles piece tomorrow, our Williams-Brice Stadium piece. Appreciate Summer Doodles for contributing that. And then Friday, we're officially giving away our 2 tickets to the game against Vanderbilt. John Gibbs, I think something everyone forgets is not all these coaches started as great coaches. People can progress and become great. Do I want to give them 10 years? No, but everyone starts from the bottom. Yeah, I'm not saying give Beamer 10 years if he doesn't show progress, but, you know, give him some time. Sometime. James Kendall says, my wife doesn't love the big cock glove shirt. I'll be wearing it Saturday for win number 4. Yeah, quick reminder, by the way, that reminds me, James Kendall, thank you. The TSUS tailgate Saturday, we'll be going out there. We'll be set up probably about 11 o'clock. Of course, a 4 o'clock kickoff at Willie B. We'll be set up around 11. Would love to see you guys out there. Going to be a really, really good time. Yeah, be sure to come on out. Spots 93 to 96, really 93 to 100. But, yeah, really looking forward to it. We've had a lot of fun at the TSUS tailgate, and so we'd love to have you guys out there as well. Carter Bingham, I'll be tuning tonight. Hopefully to see everyone's reaction to Delp committing to South Carolina. Yeah, that'll be interesting. The last 10 minutes of the show, we'll be watching Oscar Delp's commitment. So, Justin Kyle says, I honestly think Beamer needs 5 years. He has to be able to turn over this roster and get his players and schemes in place. There's no doubt that seeing the defense play pretty well is a good look for sure. Yeah, no doubt. I agree with you. Yeah, I think you got to give him at minimum 5 years. Let him build. Let him work. Let him build and work. Guys, in case you missed it, like I said, actually, let's see. Robbie Davis texts in. Just want to say go Gamecocks and go Syracuse Orange. Yeah, Friday night, Clemson, Syracuse. Wouldn't that be something? Again, guys, my best bet. I got the Gamecocks covering the 18-point spread, believe it or not. Gamecocks minus 18. My best bet for the weekend. I think Vandy is just total trash. I know South Carolina has deficiencies, imperfections, issues, etc. But we're not Vandy bad. I can tell you that right now. We're not Vandy bad. Travis Ford, have a great Wednesday yourself, sir. I appreciate you. He says that'll do it from the Justin Kyle show. What is there, like a rivalry now in the comments? Travis Ford and Justin Kyle going back and forth. Justin Kyle says, in 5 years, if we're still having this combo of going 1-7 or 2-6 in the conference, then maybe it's time to evaluate the situation. I agree 110%. Absolutely. Josh Travis, do you think the Florida game is winnable? Traveling up to see the game, fingers crossed. I mean, I'm not picking it as a win. I can tell you that right now. At least right now, that's what I feel. South Carolina, Florida's been a good series, but I think Florida's way ahead of you, man. I think Florida's still there. Florida's not what they were last year, certainly, but Florida's still very, very talented. Wyatt Williams says, have a sneaky feeling that Delp is cola bound. Delp, I should say. Sorry, I said Delp. Delp is cola bound. Would love that. That would be the shot in the arm, honestly, that this fan base needs. That would be the shot in the arm we all need at this point. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls. Less than 5 minutes to go here on a Wednesday, October the 13th, 2021. I also, by the way, guys, in case you missed it on social media, dropped my grades for the first half of the 2021 football season. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching, And my overall grade, I've got the defense graded out as a D. Defense, I gave a B+. Special teams, I gave an A+. Coaching, I gave a C+. And the overall grade for the first half, I gave a C. Again, a mixed bag. Some good happens. Some bad happens. All right, let's jump to the phone lines.
Call from
Justin.
Justin, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
What's up, man? So I just have a question, man. So I guess for me, I mean, do you feel like at times that we try to commit to get the running game going so much that it kind of is detrimental to a drive?
I mean, you could say that. I mean, if you keep trying the same thing over and over and it's not working, then, yeah, I guess you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot then, aren't you? I mean, but it's I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where do you just resort to you're just going to throw it 50 times a game? And, you know, it's tough to say because it's like hypothetically sure, like I said a couple weeks ago, like fail fast. You know, don't just keep trying to run it if you can't. But I just this offense to me is just not going to operate at an optimal level if you have to throw it every single play. So, I mean, I can't fault them for trying to run the ball, but yeah, man, I mean, when you got 1st and 10 or whatever and you stop for a 3-yard loss, yeah, this offense is that's like the no-go zone for them. So,
well, I think for me, it's I kind of go back to the Kentucky game. I know it's a couple weeks back. When we get 2 big turnovers, huge turnovers, in the first play, we 4-yard loss on a run. I'm like, man, that just cannot happen. I just feel like Kentucky was in the box. They were bringing a blitz pretty often, and there was no wide receiver screens. There were no halfback screens. There was nothing to kind of say, hey, you can do that, but we're going to try to burn you. I mean, after the first quarter, we missed one throw to Van that he was open, and then was like, well, we're not throwing it deep no more.
Right.
And then for me, it's you come out the third quarter after the half, and you pass the ball down their throat. I mean, Doty led a great drive, which to me shows them that Doty has the ability to read a defense and to make the throws, and we're still trying to run the ball up the middle, trying to, be fancy and do trick plays. It just, at times I feel like we run the read option twice in that game, and, obviously we got 2 or 3 yards. I think for me the biggest thing is we have got to find a way to not be 3rd and 8. This offense just isn't good enough to have 3rd and longs 80% of a game. I mean, that's for any offense, really. I mean, it's really hard to win a football game.
Yeah.
So for me, if it's 2nd and 8, I mean, dude, get Doty out the pocket. That way, if there's nothing open, he can run for 3 or 4 yards and makes it a 3rd and medium, a 3rd and short, and then your playbook's a little more open. I mean, I just feel like when we get into a definite pass down, offensive line is just not good enough in the pass block right now. I mean, they're blocking air.
Yeah. No, yeah, we're definitely not we're not built to win in those 3rd and long situations, and not many teams are. I mean, there aren't many teams that are like, hey, we just get in 3rd and 8 every time. That's our go zone. It's like, no. So, but yeah, certainly South Carolina. I think with the issues in the passing game and pass blocking as a whole, you're certainly not built to win in a 3rd and long. So, I don't know, man. It's what is the solution? If the offensive line can't open a hole, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, I think you made a point earlier, and I think somebody else said it too, is the I formation last year with Kevin Harris is where he got his yardage.
Mm-hmm.
He is a power back. He's not a speed back.
Right.
So for me, when they're trying to do these sweeps, or just a stretch out of the shotgun, he's a great running back. He's not built he's like a hit the hole power back. He's not one of those that he doesn't take the time to read the hole. Juju is more of that. If you're going to do that type of run, Juju is where you want to be at with that. Mm-hmm. I think the I form. I mean, I don't have an issue with him running it. I mean, if it's effective, I don't care. I mean, because Little's made his living on power running.
Right. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I think that's where I'd prefer to see Kevin Harris run out of is that I set. I think, like you said, I agree with you 110%. He's a power back. So, I don't know. I tend to think that's where his best runs are going to come out of. But maybe we'll see them build on that. We saw it some against Tennessee, but maybe we'll see him build on it.
Well, and I'll leave with this. I know it's almost time for your show again, but if you remember back when we played LSU, when we had the Wounded Warrior jerseys, I'm not sure what year that was. We lost by, I think, we were ranked number
2012,
3, I think. LSU had the same type of issue. They really didn't have an elite offense. I mean, their defense is where they were at. But they would do play action with a power set, and you would not get into the quarterback. I mean, would not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think our receivers are good enough to get separation to have a 2 wide receiver route in a play. But, I mean, I don't know, man. You got to try something different. I mean, I don't know. I love Kevin Harris, man, but at times I feel like the Kentucky game, we had Harris in there, and I was like, dude, Kentucky's just in the box. He's just not fast enough to get that edge. And then we got Juju in there, and he makes a couple 10-yard runs. I'm like, that's what you need to do. I mean, if getting outside of where it has to be at, based on how our line just gets blown off the line, I mean, you just got to just accept the fact that Harris just isn't fit for what we're trying to accomplish at this point.
Yeah. Hey, you got to do whatever you got to do to score points. So I definitely agree with you. Juju McDowell needs to touch the football more. He's been, if nothing else, he's been the most exciting player on offense to watch this season. And for an offense that hasn't been very exciting this season, that's saying a lot. So he's got to touch the ball more. I totally agree with you.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the content, man. You have a good day.
Yeah, man. You too. Appreciate you. Great stuff. Great way to end the show, guys. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. It is 2 o'clock, so again, we're going to wrap it up. A couple of quick reminders. Like I said, check out the podcast that dropped this morning. We're live tonight, 5 to 7 at Tin Roof. Stay tuned to the content. Content bleeding out the eyeballs. You already know the drill, guys. You have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great hump day. We will talk to you this afternoon.